This is the first laptop that I have ever had with an OLED screen. It's the Vivobook 14S from ASUS. And I've got the mid-tier spec version here with 12-core Intel Evo i5 12500H processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 14-inch 90Hz 2K OLED screen. Let's get on to business and talk about the build quality. I decided to opt for the black anodized aluminum finish, but there's also a grey model to choose from. The build quality feels pretty good with a low keyboard flex even when pushing hard and not too much screen flex. And the screen does not wobble unless and until you are stroking your fingers too hard on the keyboard. Also, there weren't any sharp edges or corners on the laptop, which is a good to have. The laptop alone weighs approximately 1.5 kilograms and a light 90-watt power brick and the cables included. The size of this laptop resembles other 14-inch laptops available out there, so quite portable and on a thinner side. Let's talk about the display. And this is like the main thing about this laptop. Most of you are going to purchase this laptop because of the display itself. The 14-inch OLED panel is excellent. Whether you are a designer, a content creator, or just anyone with enough appreciation for good punchy colors, the color gamut is very high and there's unlimited contrast as OLED turns off pixels. Hence, black looks great, which means backlight bleed isn't a thing here. What that means is whenever there is a scene with black colors, the pixels will just turn off to give you pure black. Also a cherry on top, saving battery while giving you two colors. The screen uses a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, so there are more pixels vertically compared to a standard 16:9. The resolution here is 2880 by 1800, which is not generally seen on a laptop. I didn't like the reflection that showed up on the glossy screen. As per ASUS's official description, this was supposed to be an anti-glare screen, but there's no denying that glossy does look more excellent in terms of colors. And the glossiness does not really affect unless you are sitting behind light source. And in that case, it's a huge deal. And you might want to consider getting a different laptop with a matte display. And let me just tell you, if you are watching movie, just turn off the lights in your room and have a look at your laptop. I mean, the quality will be amazing. It gets reasonably bright, and as per the on paper specifications, it can reach up to 600 nits. I don't have any physical tool to check the brightness, but yeah, let's just consider that true. Now, let's address the elephant in the room about the OLED panels. You must be familiar with OLED burn-ins. For those who don't know, it's like visible stains on your screen due to repeatedly static content that may be visible over time. It's just a matter of when and not if. ASUS has included quite a few options to prevent or at least delay OLED burn-ins through the My ASUS software, which is also like the control panel for this laptop. By default, there's a special screensaver that turns on after 30 minutes. There's a pixel shift option, so the pixel move by just a little bit so that the same pixels are not used for to display a same static image, hence reduce the OLED burn-in. Windows can be set to be transparent and there's a shortcut to hide the taskbar as well. Now let's talk about the camera and microphone. Given this COVID times, the online meetings have increased too much and approximately everyone has to use their cameras. So there's a 720p camera above the screen in the middle. Unfortunately, there is no IR for Windows Hello Face Unlock, but it has got a physical sliding privacy shutter. Yep, it is really a great feel. I mean, I know you don't trust the on or off feature of your Teams or Google Meet. So you can just physically turn off your camera and never worry about sleeping in mid lecture. So guys, this is how the camera looks like and the microphone sounds like. Let me know in the comments how is the microphone. And let me just type something on the keyboard and this is how it will be like in a meeting if you are typing something and on a call. Alright, this is the normal typing. This is some hard key presses, keystrokes. This camera seems to be a decent one for a 720p camera as compared to many other laptops out there, but given that there is too much lighting in the room, so that may be the reason for the quality to be this much good. So do let me know how does the camera feels like. Let me just turn off this ring light. Alright, so this is the natural lighting now with just a single tube light in my room. Now speaking of the keyboard, the chiclet keyboard on this VivoBook has all black keys except the escape key, which is highlighted in orange and gives a good texture to the whole keyboard. The keys have a white backlighting with 3 levels of brightness using the F7 shortcut key, and all keys get lit up except the power button. And the reason being it doubles as a fingerprint scanner which works as intended, fast and accurate. And let me just tell you, uh, the white backlighting looks really good on the keyboard and makes the laptop professional. The keys have 1.4 millimeters of key travel, and typing on them was no issues at all. And having no numpad is kind of a bummer, but given that it is a 14-inch laptop, that's quite expected. The precision touchpad just worked fine. Also, a feature that this laptop is missing as compared to a Zenbook is the Dialpad functionality, which has many features like as shown in this video. That was a bummer, but given that the latest Zenbook is like 10 to 15,000 costlier with almost the similar specification, that quite makes up for it. Now let's talk I/O. The right side has a 3.5 mm combo jack, USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type A port, HDMI 2.0 port, and two Thunderbolt Type 4 ports that supports charging, and just a single 2.0 USB port on the left side. So the left side was quite a bummer. There's nothing on the back, and this might be because of the 180-degree hinge. The previous generation VivoBook had a micro SD slot, which is missing in this generation. This laptop features a dual channel 16GB DDR4 memory out of the box, out of which one of the 8GB stick is soldered to the board and the second 8GB stick can be upgraded to a 16GB one, making the max allowed memory to be 24GB. The two speakers are on the front bottom edge towards the left and right sides respectively. They sound decent, not the best out there but not the worst either. The VivoBook is powered by a 70-watt-hour battery and combined with the EVO certification, which is known for many features, and one of them being a high battery life at 1080p resolution. Although this laptop has 2K resolution, but that EVO certification is for a 1080p resolution. It lasted for about 6 hours of YouTube playback test, which is alright when you realize that the display was set at 2K with 90Hz. Toning that display down to 1080p 60Hz can easily give you 9 hours of playback at medium brightness. The ASUS software also let you charge your battery up to say 60, 80 or 100% so that you don't have to leave it fully charged if you are always plugged in, which helps you promote a better longevity of your battery. Alright, the most important part about this video, let's talk numbers. These are the Geekbench scores for a single core and multi-core performances, and this is the OpenCL score. Of course, this laptop does not have a discrete graphics card, so it will be low. And these are the NVMe SSD performances, read and write speed, and these are great. Now let's have a look at Cinebench R23 scores. These are the multi-core scores on battery as well as on power. And these are the single core CPU scores on battery and on power. Now as you can see, the scores are great for a notebook. And these are the Puget Systems benchmark for Premiere Pro. The score is just 213, and that is because of lack of a GPU. Now if we had gotten a GPU, then the scores will be much higher. Alright, so let me live boot this laptop with a Ubuntu Live CD using the pen drive. And yeah, I think this laptop supports Ubuntu. Let's move on to it. Try Ubuntu. And yeah, seems like Ubuntu is working on a laptop. It will just load the live Ubuntu CD now, and we have booted into Ubuntu. We have live booted into Ubuntu actually. Currently using a USB port to connect keyboard and mouse. The external mouse seems to work. The trackpad mouse is also working. Let's have a look at the network connections, and yeah, our Wi-Fi also works without any external drivers needed, thanks to Intel. That is the advantage of having an Intel Wi-Fi card. It requires no drivers for Ubuntu. Let's try to write something. Okay. And laptop keyboard is not working, unfortunately, while my external keyboard is fully functional. So this is a bummer. I think it might require some additional drivers to make it work. Now let's have a look at the UEFI BIOS of this laptop. There are many different options: permission manager, system diagnostics, cloud recovery, and yeah, it's a fully feature-rich BIOS, which you generally do not see. And let's go to advanced settings, and there are many different setting options. And let me just focus the camera on it. Yeah, As you can see, there are many different options that if you are into, you can change them. And this is the Thunderbolt configuration. We can edit the security level and boot manager. We can enable or disable fast boot, secure boot. So let's have a look at how this laptop performs gaming. I'm currently playing CSGO at 1080p, which is 1920 by 1200 pixels because of the 16:10 aspect ratio. The graphic settings are set as low, but the picture quality looks really great. It can give approximately anywhere between from 40 to 60 FPS, but there are some lags in the game. And Valorant plays really well on this system. It can go around 90 fps, 70 to 90 fps, without any lags. And this is the Windows capture, and Valorant was playing at 2K resolution. Yep, 2K resolution, not even 1080p. If you play Valorant at 1080p, you can easily get like 120 frames. So yeah, and this I have recorded using the Windows capture tool. And running any apps like VS Code, Android Studio, Blender, Handbrake, and NetBeans and stuff like that. Basically, if you are into programming or into basic designing, and as long as your work does not require a discrete graphics card, this laptop is fully capable of running anything. The Intel i5 12th generation 12500H is a very powerful processor. It's got 12 cores. So yeah, it can easily handle day-to-day work and even some heavy usage work without even a problem. And also, when it comes to the fan noise, yeah, the fan can sound high sometimes, but you can of course adjust that. And the temperature sometimes reach like 90 degree for like 2 or 3 seconds, but after that the temperature gets down for approximately 80 degrees, 85 degrees. So for me, thermal throttling was not really an issue as far as I have realized. But yeah, if you are working on high loads for a long time, then you might experience thermal throttling if your room does not have, say, proper airflow. So that might be a problem, but I did not face any of that. And so, as a conclusion, should you buy this laptop or should you not buy this laptop? Well, the i5 12th generation, the processor present in this laptop, is really powerful when it comes to a notebook size like that. This laptop is portable, this laptop is thin, and this is an amazing laptop if you're looking for raw performance with also a small form factor. And the fingerprint sensor just works every time, almost every time. And the 180-degree hinge is a good thing to have. And one of the most important thing about this laptop is the display. Although it is a glossy display, but that OLED display, I mean, come on, you just have to see it for yourself. Just go to your nearby store wherever there is an OLED ASUS laptop, whether it is of the previous generation, but just have a look at for yourself, because after looking at the display, you are just going to ignore some of the less important problems that it has. And yeah, that makes it an amazing laptop and a bang for your buck, because at 75,000 rupees you are getting a laptop with the phenomenal display. Also, I have shot a detailed gaming review where I have gamed for like 20 or 30 minutes, and also a detailed benchmarking in the same, basically the same results, but the all how I shot the benchmarking. I just kept my camera with the task manager opened with the hardware monitor to capture the temperature. So if you're really thinking to purchase this laptop and want to have a look at the thermals, you can definitely check that video out, because it will give you a much more deeper insights on the temperature if you are into that kind of stuff. I've decided not to include that here because it was just going to make a huge clutter. This video is already long. There is also a sister laptop to this, which is the Zenbook. It is almost similar, but the Zenbook offers DDR5 memory instead of the DDR4 memory, which is present in the Vivobook. The Zenbook also has a 75 watt hours battery as opposed to the 70 watt hour battery on the Vivobook. And the Zenbook is 100 grams lighter than the Vivobook, which is only 1.4 kilograms for the Zenbook there. And the Zenbook has a dial pad as well. So if you want those features, then you can pay the extra 15,000 as of now, because the Zenbook is currently available for 90,000 Indian rupees, while the Vivobook is available only at 70,000 Indian rupees. So it's totally up to you. And also the Zenbook offers a i5-1240P processor, and just so you know, the P processor performs slightly lesser as compared to the H processor in the Vivobook. So the Vivobook performs better at a lower price. So these are the things that you should keep in mind if you are even considering the Zenbook. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. Let me know in the comments how can I improve the video for the next times, if there is any. Thanks for watching. Peace out.